Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be here in the wonderful neighborhood of City Heights to unveil our latest plans to address our aging infrastructure in the city of San Diego. I'm joined this morning by Councilmembers Marty Emerald and Mark Kersey. Councilmember Emerald, as you know, is the chair of our Public Safety Neighborhood Services Committee, and Mark chairs our newly formed, although a year old almost now, Infrastructure Committee. I'm also joined by the Director of Public Works, Tony Heinrichs, and our city engineer, the wonderful James Nagelvort. And we have a number of our leaders from our fire rescue department here, all available for any questions you may have. It is not news that San Diego has an extensive backlog of deferred maintenance needs and a long list of new facilities to serve our growing population. What is news is that the city is doing something to fix that. When I took over the duties as mayor about 2 months ago, I said that we would not sit in neutral for the next 6 months, that we would move aggressively forward. Today is a day that we're moving forward. Next Monday, the City Council's Infrastructure Committee, led by Mark Kersey, will take up an item that I expect the full council to hear in January, which is the consideration of an infrastructure bond worth approximately $120 million to help fix streets, design libraries, rebuild fire stations, and address other neighborhood needs. Behind us is Fire Station 17. It is known as the Hub because it is routinely the busiest engine in the city of San Diego. This station was built in 1950 and is in dire need of replacement. In their downtime, our firefighters do their very best to maintain this building and to modify it to meet our current needs. Now, taking input from our firefighters and considering feedback from the surrounding community, a new Fire Station 17 has been designed. This infrastructure bond could give us the opportunity to finally construct that new facility here on this site. Also, with this infrastructure bond, we could replace Fire Station 22 in Point Loma, which was built in 1942, Fire Station 5 in Hillcrest, which was built in 1951, repair the Midway Street Bluff in La Jolla, design new libraries in San Ysidro, San Carlos, and Skyline, acquire land and design the Home Avenue Fire Station and design the Skyline Fire Station, and invest more than $43 million in street resurfacing. I'll say that again, $43 million in street resurfacing. As you all know, I think that makes for some pretty sexy streets, and I'm glad that we can include that in this proposal. I think it's also important to note what these projects will mean for the creation of local jobs to put many San Diegans to work. I think that's also a side benefit of this effort. The proposed project list that we're unveiling today is by no means a done deal. It was developed by our professional city staff who are familiar with the conditions of our current infrastructure and our community's needs. I trust that these proposed projects are absolutely necessary, and I know that some of the folks may have other priorities to suggest. I look forward to hearing from my City Council colleagues and, of course, from San Diegans about their other needs that might need to be addressed. To continue to inform our infrastructure funding plans for the next 5 years, Councilmember Kersey and I kicked off the first public input session on Tuesday night, and there are others planned in every single council district from now through December. And I believe you all have flyers supporting with details on those meetings. So we are working hard, we're working aggressively, and we're working comprehensively to address this issue. Today's a big announcement. I'm glad to be a small part of it. With that, I'd love to welcome the representative of the district that we're standing in this morning, a very strong advocate for addressing the needs of public safety in our neighborhoods, Councilmember Marty Emerald. And she will be followed by Councilmember Kersey, the chair again of our Infrastructure Committee. Marty?
Thanks. You know, it's as though all the stars are aligned. We are finally in a position here in the city of San Diego to be able to rebuild facilities like this, the Hub. The Hub is the undisputed busiest fire station in the city of San Diego. If you look around yourself here, you'll see why. High-density neighborhoods, very few fire stations in our mid-city, and this crew that works here on any given day may provide services not just for this area of City Heights, but for the Oak Park area. They may be called into service down in Mission Valley, where there is no fire station yet, of course, except for a trailer in the back of the Qualcomm parking lot and a team of professionals who will do whatever it takes to keep people safe. But this really is an important day. Make no mistake, $120 million is going to go a long way toward helping to repair our streets and our sidewalks, but more importantly, to help make San Diego a safer city. We've been lobbying as part of our Public Safety and Neighborhood Services Committee for the last 5 years to get fire stations built. As you know, a couple of years back, we received the Citygate report, which told us unequivocally that we must build at least 10 more fire stations in the city of San Diego just to have a response time that meets basic industry standards and to keep our neighborhoods safe. So I'm really excited to be here in front of the hub, Station 17, to say, please, support this bond. $120 million bond. We'll be there Monday in the Infrastructure Committee getting it through to full council. Every council district needs these kinds of repairs. As the mayor said, we've got fire stations throughout the city that need repairs, need to be replaced, and we have fire stations we must add. Most specifically at Skyline, Home Avenue, here, expansion of the College Station. Of course, we finally have the money together to build the Mission Valley Station, and groundbreaking, I understand, is coming up later this year. So this is a huge development for a city that has struggled financially for nearly a decade now, just to make ends meet. We're finally in a position to be able to pull together the money needed to help make San Diego a safer place. And I want to thank the leadership of the mayor, the council, and I'd like to introduce Mark Kersey, who is now making it sort of a personal project to see that infrastructure is replaced and our city gets the repairs it needs for the future. So, Mark Kersey.
Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that introduction. And thank you to Mayor Gloria for his commitment to infrastructure. He was talking about this issue being a huge priority for the city before I even got on the council. And I want to thank Marty for her commitment to public safety as well. The backbone of our community is infrastructure, and we need to invest in it if this city is going to move forward and thrive. This bond is going to help slow down the accelerated deterioration as well as years of neglect of our streets and our storm drains. We're going to build sidewalks and improve ADA accessibility. Our parks and our libraries are going to see the investment that they desperately need. And we're also going to make significant strides in public safety by building new fire stations such as the one you see here, as well as funding the design of additional fire stations at Home Avenue and Skyline. It's really important that we do this now so that we can take advantage of relatively low interest rates as well as low construction costs. We know that our infrastructure backlog is well north of $1 billion. But bonding alone is not going to be enough to solve these challenges. We need to commit more money from the city's general fund. I think that we need 50% of any budget surpluses in the future dedicated to infrastructure and needed repairs. And we also need to take advantage of federal grant programs such as community development block grants to help with things like public safety and libraries and neighborhoods such as this. We also need to identify more streamlining measures so that we can get the most out of the funding that we do have available. And because the needs that we have outstrip the resources and the funding that is available, we've begun the process of getting public input on their priorities for their communities. Input will be integrated into the city's first ever 5-year infrastructure plan, an outline of which will be presented at my committee in November. And we are having a series of public meetings, which Mayor Gloria referenced. We had the first one on Tuesday in Balboa Park. We have another one tonight with our colleague, Councilman Scott Sherman, at the Mission Trails Park Visitor Center. And we're going to continue with these over the next month and a half to try to get people to help us understand what the priorities are for them in their communities. So this is a great moment for the city. It is fantastic to see the commitment of our mayor as well as all of my colleagues on the council, and we're really going to move this city forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Marty. As you can see, we're fortunate to have a council that's focused on repairing our neighborhoods and investing in our infrastructure. We're also fortunate to have public servants, city employees who are helping lead this effort. Tony, as I mentioned before, Tony Heinrichs, James and Agilvort. They are part of our public works team that help deliver these projects for neighbors. Gentlemen, thank you for what you do, and please take our gratitude back to your co-workers. And also, we're here with Assistant Chief Brian Fennessy, obviously one of the main recipients of some of these dollars for these fire stations, which I think again are important. Lastly, I want to remind everyone that these proposed project list that we're unveiling today will be discussed at the Infrastructure Committee meeting at 9 a.m. on Monday, October 28th. That is an opportunity for the public to weigh in and share their thoughts and priorities, and we always are happy to hear that. With that said, again, we are moving the city forward. $120 million for neighborhood projects, needed projects that have been long on the list. Today is a great day moving forward for the city, and I hope that we'll have the public support for this effort. With that said, happy to take questions now or do one-on-ones. Ed?
Considering the backlog, why aren't you making this larger? I mean, I don't appreciate the mathematical formula that you came up with this. Why isn't it larger, the bond measure?
Well, two things. One, this is larger than I think was originally envisioned. Originally, I think there was discussion of around $80 million, but with the input of Councilmember Kersey and Councilmember Emerald, as well as others, we wanted to go bigger in order to try and, again, take advantage of the lower interest rates, put more San Diegans to work, and take care of more projects. This is what is fiscally responsible, though. We have to pay the debt service on the bond, and it's what I think we can reasonably afford in the FY15 budget that I'm currently preparing.
And if I may follow up, this is not cast in stone, i.e. all of the neighborhood needs.
It is not. And I know, Mark, you want to talk about the cast in stone nature? I mean,
Sure. This is a list of projects that our public works professionals have prepared in terms of what they believe our capacity to deliver projects is best optimized to do. In terms of the public meetings, those started this week, and those are really for projects throughout the next several years. So those won't have as much bearing on this particular set of projects. That's more of what are the needs of the community going forward.
This is what is essential right now.
Exactly. And what can we do right now in terms of, because when we bond, you have to spend the money within a certain period of time, so you have to have the land identified, you have to have everything lined up in a very particular way. Other questions? Anybody?
We can do one-on-one.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
thank you.